This is John Cullen with GrowingYourGreens.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you. I'm still here in Puerto Rico, and I'm here in Isabela, Puerto Rico, to share with you guys a really cool certified organic farm that is producing seeds for the local community here in Puerto Rico, making other organic amendments available for Puerto Ricans. But more importantly, they will ship you the seeds they grew here on their small organic farm to the States, you know, to Florida, to Hawaii, to the US Virgin Islands, other territories, so that you guys can grow some crops that can handle the heat, handle the summer heat, handle the heat year round here in Puerto Rico. So where I'm at today is we're at Desde Mi Huerta, which means from my garden. I don't speak Spanish. And it's DesdeMiHuerto.com. And if you go to their website, it's going to be in Spanish, but then if you click a button, it'll translate it all to English. You can contact them at 787-202-0392. And of course, they're on Facebook and Instagram. All the links, guys, are down below in the description, as well as pinned to the first comment below the timestamps, so that you guys can go directly to the website, so that you guys can support a Puerto Rican owned company. This company, this organic farm, has been here for 20 years selling and producing seeds for the local people, as well as shipping them all over the US. So let's go ahead and show you guys actually the seeds they're selling, some of the accessories and things they're selling at their little store, some demonstration gardens. We're gonna also show you guys the plants that they sell locally and also can ship to you, and just to give you guys an overall general tour of the farm, and more importantly, do some taste testing of some of the unique crops that have been grown here in Puerto Rico that can be very hard to find, and some of which have even almost gone extinct. So the Desde Mi Huerto is doing some amazing work, and I encourage you guys to support them. So let's head into the farm and go on an adventure. All right, so you guys can see behind me, this is their farm store. And if you guys don't know why I'm in Puerto Rico, you guys want to check the last episode. I literally bought 3 acres of land next to my friend who owns 4 acres. And I'm full on doing a big organic permaculture farming project. And when I go anywhere, right, my first source for seeds is trying to find seeds of the local area. Of course, by going to farmers markets, meeting other farmers. But I was researching seed companies, and I'm like, wow, this seed company is doing some amazing work here in Puerto Rico, and I want to grow plants and seeds that are climatized to the climate here. So if you live in a very similar climate to Puerto Rico, such as Hawaii, South Florida, maybe even like really South Texas, really South California, you know, some of the other US territories in the Caribbean, or even out in the South Pacific, these are the seeds you guys want to get that are going to perform the best for you. So I'm happy I found this seed company, and this is where I'll be sourcing a lot of the seeds I'll be using in my property here in Puerto Rico to grow food that is guaranteed to grow. And this is their little seed shop. Link down below to their hours. I don't know their hours. I think they're open like, you know, maybe morning to the afternoon. They don't stay open too late. Although that being said, if you can't come to the seed store, it's not super impressive. You got some seeds, some fertilizers, and some just tools you could buy. They have a little demonstration garden area that I'll be showing you guys. Just order online and save your guys self a trip. The other cool thing about this seed company is that, you know, many different supermarkets and even Walmart on the island here in Puerto Rico will resell the seeds. And one of the reasons why I love this seed company is because they are certified organic. Actually, the organic inspectors come every year to recertify their farm. This year or next year, they're coming in January, so that's just a month away for them. And the other thing I really like is that the seed packets, unlike some places online, man, I'm looking online for seed packets, it's like $4 or $5. All the seed packets here are just $2. So yeah, such a deal for locally grown seeds for just $2, certified organic. They're probably the best organic seeds in the entire Caribbean. Anyways, let's go ahead and share with you guys the seed shop. All right, we're gonna walk up into the seed shop here, show you guys what they got. So number one, we'll go over all these areas in a second. They got basically, they're the official exclusive distributor of Down to Earth products in Puerto Rico. They also have some, you know, simple hand tools they recommend. They also will sell you raised beds, and they kind of just show you what they're selling you here, as well as they have different classes, maybe 16 classes a year that are $25 a person or $40. You want to get on their email list. I'll put a link down below. That's when the notifications go out. You can see this is the seeds they sell. 80% of the seeds that they are selling here, they grew on the property. 20% they actually bring in, but they are all certified organic. In addition, they also try to do a lot of education and have other workshops and even farm tours several times a year, which you will want to get on their email list. They also sell information and books in Spanish so that you guys could learn how to grow food, because that is their mission, to get people to grow their own food. And they have a few different organic gardening products to help you guys do that, as well as just some containers to grow a garden in. That being said, the highlight is the seeds. So let's go over all these seed racks where I'll show you guys my favorite seeds. All right, so you guys can see their full selection of seeds here, all certified organic. They have over 90 different varieties at present time. You're thinking, John, that's not Baker Creek, man. Baker Creek has over 1,000 varieties. Well, yes, Baker Creek grows a small percentage of what they sell. They contract to some farmers, but then they also just sell a lot of other seeds that are not certified organic. This company, on the other hand, only sells certified organic seeds, 80% of which they grew right here on the farm that I could see in front of me, that I'll be showing you guys in a minute. So what I want to do in this segment, although you could buy lots of different seeds from them, I really want to highlight the seeds that I believe to be the most valuable and the ones that I'm specifically going to grow because I see really big value in them. So they have, a whole range of different seeds from different kinds of peppers, eggplants, pumpkins, squashes, gourds, cucumbers, tomatoes, okra, pigeon peas, and beans, and corn. They even got a rice. Over on this side, they got different kinds of onions, peanuts, radishes, beets, carrots, leafy greens. That's really important. Celery, bok choy, arugula, cabbage, and different kinds of herbs, some very unique, some are just more common than not. And of course, over on this side, they have some flowers, some of which are edible, as well as some specialty fruits and greens that I'll also be covering. So I guess I first want to start on this rack here, and at the top, of course, I must highlight, because I love them more than tomatoes, is the peppers. So they have some very special, unique peppers here in Puerto Rico that the local people and the cuisine literally demands that people grow. So I'm so glad that, aside from just a standard supermarket, you might see big bell peppers. I don't see big bell peppers at the farmers markets here. What I see are these guys, which I would rather have any day over large bell peppers that taste like nothing. These have actually a quite really unique and I would say fruity flavor. This is called the Ají Dulce sweet pepper, Ajo. They also have the Ají Dulce Gigante, and this is for a seasoning pepper, and I'll be taking you guys around the farm and probably sampling some of these out. And here's a really cool pepper. This pepper is really fun. This is the Ají Dulce seasoning pepper Cebrizo. So this is like, I would say, a Puerto Rican heirloom. Like, I guess even maybe back 100 years, the ladies had to use these, and you put like one or two of these small little peppers that are almost the size of a pea, maybe a little bit bigger, right in your recipe, and like boom, you got the flavor. Don't put too many because you could overpower your recipe. But I mean, it's these kinds of rare heirlooms you're not going to find at a regular seed store. Of course, they also have their very own Puerto Rican spicy pepper that I also may show you guys in a little bit. And of course, Puerto Rico is a tropical climate. So I don't want you guys to focus on growing temperate crops in a tropical climate. And don't worry if you guys are in a temperate climate, right? And you're like, I want to grow some of those tropicals. You can do it because your summers is like every day here in Puerto Rico. So you want to definitely grow some of these plants, and hopefully you guys have a longer summer season like in a zone 9. And if you don't, then start these early inside. Grow them outside for as long as possible, and you're going to have some successful harvest. And instead of growing them as a perennial as you would here in Puerto Rico, you'll have to be limited to growing them as annuals. But yeah, of course, I also love the eggplants. I personally love the smaller eggplants myself. I love to get a lot of small ones, and they're easier and faster to cook than the large eggplants. Of course, I love the different squashes. They have their own different kind of more heirloom style squashes that are smaller with denser flesh. Of course, they also grow the gigantic pumpkins as well. Let's see, the watermelon's a big hit here, out of stock. You can see, of course, one of my favorites to grow in the heat is the okra. I love the red okras. They have two different varieties of okras. They have a burgundy, which I actually grew last year in my garden, saved my own seeds, of course, as well as the red okra. And they have a tomato that is basically an heirloom for Puerto Rico. This is the Platito something de Puerto Rico. So it's like a nice big Puerto Rican heirloom tomato for this climate. They have a dryland rice, and then these are really cool. You know, if you guys live in the tropics, or even if you don't, these are a fun tree. This is basically a pigeon pea. So this is a tree that basically is a nitrogen fixer, so it actually adds nutrition to the soil. It also makes edible peas you guys could cook and eat. Link down below to my video where I went to Florida and I basically harvested a bunch of pigeon peas and ate them for dinner along with other foods I harvested on the farm there in South Florida. But this is a cool variety. I've never seen this, and I was not aware of this before I visited this farm. This is the pigeon pea small shrub, or a dwarf variety. Pigeon peas can get pretty tall. This one stays dwarf and shrub-like. I'll be showing you guys in a second. They fix nitrogen. You can use them as a chop and drop. And because they are fast growers, you can also use them to shade out and provide shade and protect some of your delicate fruit trees when they are babies. And of course, for me, I also love that they have unique varieties of pigeon peas. So actually, they got the black pigeon pea. And you guys know that I'm all about the purple foods that are rich in anthocyanins. So I really love the black pigeon peas they have here. Of course, they have other kinds of beans, including the wing beans, going to do quite good here. A lot of the farmers in the area grow the pink beans, and they got different kinds of corn, which actually they're currently growing in the fields. They got a super sweet and then more of a dent corn for animal feed or for making, you know, different recipes out of. So over on this rack, it looks like they have, you know, definitely some common vegetables that you could find in the States, but I want to try to highlight some of the vegetables that I think are really cool for here in Puerto Rico. So they got some onions. They got a special evergreen hardy scallions. I want to encourage you guys to eat more scallions. They're actually more nutritious than onions. Of course, they have a Valencia onion. They're growing peanuts here and have the peanut seeds available. Maybe I'll show you guys some peanuts that just emerge out of the soil, as well as peanuts in the fields. They have radishes, beets, carrots, different kinds of greens. I'd probably be growing the arugula and bok choy here. They got broccoli that's growing good outside. Different kinds of kales. But more importantly, I want you guys to get, if you guys are in the tropics like this, or have you know, problems growing leafy greens in the summertime, I want you guys to get the green Malabar and the red Malabar spinach. By far, the Malabar spinaches grow the best for me in Las Vegas in the summer. I'll be growing it on my farm here as well. They basically will vine out, have nice leaves. The leaves are a little bit mucilaginous, but if you can get over the texture, they are amazing. Of course, they also produce the purple fruits that you could eat and get the nice purple betalain rich pigments. They got a selection of different lettuces and cabbage, tot soy, mustard greens. Of course, the basil is going to really perform well here in Puerto Rico. My favorite, the dark opal purple basil. Here's a really cool one they're currently out of. It's anamu. I'm not really familiar with that one, but I know that's a very healing different herb. They have slow boat cilantro, which honestly I probably wouldn't waste my time here in Puerto Rico, but what I would grow is this one right here, the recaro, or they call it the long leaf cilantro. These are amazing. This is a staple in the Puerto Rican culture here. Like, everybody eats this stuff like crazy. And I'll show you guys what it is and actually how to save the seeds, and I'll show you guys the little seeds. The seeds are in there. They are tiny little seeds. This plant is the heat-loving cilantro. I grow cilantro in the wintertime. It's December here currently, and I'm growing cilantro in my garden in Las Vegas during the cool season, because once it hits March or even late February, boom, that thing is flowering. I'm not eating anymore. But this guy can handle the heat. It does not like the frost, that being said. So plant this as basically, it tastes exactly like cilantro. but is one for the heat of the summer. I recommend it highly. I love that plant. They also got dill and fennel, broadleaf plantain, the epazote. I love the epazote. It is a really unique, people say it tastes like gasoline, but I just think it tastes fun, personally. And of course they got thyme and, oh, tobacco. They got tobacco. You could use it as a trap plant. All right, so they got one more rack over here. They got some flowers, some of which are edible flowers, including marigolds, cosmos, sunflowers. They're actually having a sunflower festival harvesting pretty soon, as well as some other cool tropical fruits and other crops. So they got the acerola cherry. Yeah, so like when I was a kid, we get like the vitamin C tablets, and they're acerola vitamin C tablets, and acerola is one of the fruits that's highest in vitamin C content. So you could grow your own acerola, definitely not frost tolerant, so you're going to want to grow that in a container and bring it inside. Really cool plant. I love it a lot. They got the annatto that I'll show you guys, the full big annatto. That also would be a container plant for the non-tropical areas. You could have your own basically colorant to color your own rice, or use in cooking, or even for makeup if you're a lady. They got their own special guava, so I want to show you guys a picture of that. Look at that. That's a nice deep red guava. They'll send you the seeds. I have friends in Las Vegas that actually grow guava outside, leave it unprotected year round. So if you have a nice microclimate, you guys could grow the guava in. This is a really nice pink variety. They also got a few different kinds of papaya, and I want to remind you guys, these papaya seeds are certified organic, non-GMO. And so they got the standard Puerto Rican style papaya right here, as well as they got the Hawaiian style papaya here. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll get to show you guys the papaya later. And then they also have the Mexican style Mardol, the standard kind papaya, as well as you guys could grow some unique Puerto Rican style passion fruits that I'll be showing you guys in a little bit. Show you guys how they grow them for the seed, and I'll even show you guys how they process the seeds to get them into the seed packet to assure that you guys have high quality seeds every single time. And of course, my favorite tree you guys want to grow here in the tropics is the moringa. The moringa tree, do not underestimate the moringa. All areas of the moringa tree could be used for sustenance. You know, we could eat the roots, you could eat the flowers, you could eat the seed pods, known as drumsticks, and of course the leaves are anti-cancer, full of BITCs, and they're quite nutritious for us, and more people should use this. There should be a landscape crop mandatory for every Puerto Rican to grow in their front yard or backyard, so they can harvest their fresh greens. Because I'll tell you, I was at the supermarket last night in Nakano, and like the greens there suck. Like, you gotta grow your own greens here in Puerto Rico if you want good greens, because all the imported ones, aside from the local lettuces, just not that good quality, guys. Sorry. So if you guys want to order any of these seeds, you can go to the website that I previously announced in the intro. Once again, link down below, or go to their English-based website called CaribbeanEcoSeeds.com. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, which you guys could also order online on the website, but honestly, I'll tell you guys, if you guys live in the States, don't order this stuff from Puerto Rico to ship back to the States after it's been shipped to Puerto Rico. This is great if you guys want to come here and buy it locally, or even ship it on the island. The farm here is the official distributor for Puerto Rico for the down-to-earth fertilizer products. The down-to-earth fertilizer products, honestly, are some of my favorite fertilizer products, some of which I use in my berry garden. That being said, the prices back in the States are a lot less because they have to ship all this stuff from the States to get here. That being said, while they do sell it in small boxes and have it on display in their seed store here, they also will sell you guys the larger bags they have actually stored off-site, also available online. But they got different kinds of different fruit tree and fish bone fertilizers. They got the BioLive, which is probably my favorite that they're shown here. They also have, standard tomato and vegetable garden, all-purpose fertilizer, fruit tree, Langbonite. They're also selling locally grown worm castings, and of course, I don't want you guys to forget, this stuff will supercharge all your plants. Every plant that I put into my garden, whether back in Vegas or starting here, I'll be using the Plant Success Mycorrhizae. This is super important to add onto every different plant. I shake a little bit onto every root before I plant it and transplant it out in the garden. This is basically a beneficial fungus which will colonize the roots and help bring in more nutrition to your plant so that your plant can be more healthy, produce larger, produce more, and also become more drought tolerant. So I highly recommend you guys get the Plant Success if you're here on island, or of course you guys could find this other places to order online. Honestly, I wouldn't really order any of these products to ship back to the States from the seed store here, but I would order their seeds. That being said, I want to show you guys something else that they will actually ship you, which is actually quite rare. Or you could just come here locally to pick up. And actually, it's the fresh plants. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys their shade house. And the shade house definitely is best for people that are local, because you can come here, pick out your plants, and buy them. And they're quite affordable. I mean, I was recently at a Home Depot in town, and some of these plants are comparable in price to how much the plants at the Home Depot, or the vegetable plants they sell at Home Depot. But what you're going to get here that you're not going to get at Home Depot is you're going to get a lot more rare plants. A lot of the plants that they're selling here are actually from the very seeds. So you guys can see the seeds that you would buy if you're cheap and you don't have the money for the plants. You could buy the seeds, and you can see the plants that they're going to make, because they use their seeds to germinate to make the plants that they'll also sell you guys. Now the cool thing is, unlike Hawaii that has a lot of restrictions to ship things back into the continental United States, Puerto Rico has a little bit less restrictions, and they can ship seeds back. Some fruits can be shipped back, many roots and tubers can be shipped back, and even plant cuttings and plants without any soil could be shipped back. So if you guys order some of these plants from the States, I would once again only grow these in the summertime or grow them indoors. They will basically take your order, accept your order. They will basically wash off all the soil they're grown in, pack them in some kind of coconut coir or peat moss, and then ship it to you. So it's basically being shipped soilless to you in the States. Now that's a lot of work. And of course, unless you're really not good at starting seeds and just want the plants, you know, the shipping's gonna cost you a lot more to order plants. I'd say just buy the seeds, guys. Save yourself a lot of headaches. Anyways, I want to show you guys the plants you're missing out on if you were here, because before I leave, I'm definitely going to buy a whole bunch of these plants for my new farm. So let's head inside the shade house and check it out. All right, headed inside the shade house here, and you guys can see, you know, they don't have a ton of plants available, but they got some really cool ones. Some are definitely more valuable than others. They also start some of their crops and do germination testing in here for the seeds, and some of these plants are destined to go in on the farm. This is actually the Recaro, or the heat-loving cilantro. I'll show you guys that in the field in a little bit. And here's some of those very special Aji peppers. You guys can see here's that little seasoning pepper. Look at how cute these guys look. Nice and small. We'll give you guys a ham can shot, then I'll take you around and highlight a few different plants I want to show you guys. Mostly peppers. These are some tomatoes. They got some broccoli. They got a lot of peppers germinated. Definitely got some beets there. And they have lots of different papayas. Over here they got different kind of verbenas, different kinds of basils, more basils, and different kinds of herbs. You know, if you look in here carefully, like there's lemongrass. Like for me personally, if I'm coming here, I would not want to buy like annual vegetables, right? I would want to buy things that are more perennial. Oh, they got some aloe vera down there too. I'd probably want to grow, you know, something like this. I think this is, they call this the Vicks plant. That's just, you plant it once, it's going to basically grow forever. The basils are really long-lived here. Oh, this is the fun. This is the variegated oregano. I grew that one time. It kept dying on me in a temperate climate. And then this is one of my favorites. This is a cranberry hibiscus. That thing grew so well for me. They got standard mint. They got the rosemary, of course. And going down the last aisle, lots of different herbs. That's what I really love. I love the herbs. A lot more valuable than just, you know, buying some of the seeds. Oh, there's a moringa, a lone moringa. And let's see here, what else do we got here? Oh, they're starting some guava. And some, they got 3 or 4 different kinds of passion fruit vines here. They got like a Colombian, a Puerto Rican, and one other kind. And they got a couple different, you know, couple different papaya styles here as well that they'll ship you. All right, so now I want to show you guys some of the plants that they're selling here and highlight along with the seeds. So, I mean, if you guys want to buy the seeds, these seeds right here, you get a whole bunch for $2, right? Will grow this plant. Or you could buy this plant, I think at present time, if you're buying them online, they're about double the price. One plant, or you can have a whole bunch of seeds you can germinate into probably at least this many plants. So this is the Sabrosito Aji Dulce seasoning pepper. I don't think I've ever tried one of these little peppers in my life. Look at how small they are. They're so cute. So we're just going to go ahead and pop this guy off. And I'm going to try it and eat it and tell you guys what I think of this little small seasoning pepper. Wow. What a unique flavor. Woo. Little heat. It's so hard to describe. It has the fruitiness of a sweet pepper with a tinge of the green pepper flavor with a tinge of black pepper all mixed in one. It's insane. I can see why the Puerto Ricans use this for, like, you know, recipes. Put a few in the recipe, it'll really give it that essence, that flavor. These are peppers I definitely really love. And of course, if you live in a more hot environment, right? That's why I love growing the fruits that have smaller fruits. Fruit plants that have smaller fruits produce a larger quantity than fruits that have large fruits. So for example, bell pepper, you might get, I don't know, 1 to 6 bell peppers off one plant, depending on how good you're at taking care of it. But some of these plants in just these little pots have at least a half dozen fruits or more on them. So yeah, grow the small peppers if you're in a hot climate. These ones definitely taste good. Another excellent crop to grow here in Puerto Rico or during the summer heat. Once again, you guys could buy the plant or you guys could buy the seeds that I showed you guys earlier. And this is actually the green Malabar spinach. You guys can see it just vines up. It really loves something to climb up of. It's just climbing up this leg of this rack here. But I love this plant. You could harvest the little baby tips to eat. You could harvest the baby leaves to eat. You could harvest the larger leaves to eat. This is a very valuable crop because it will basically grow pretty much year-round in the tropics. It'll drop seeds, and the seeds will spread up, and you'll have a continual supply of leafy greens so that you guys could stop buying the imported dumb leafy greens here in Puerto Rico. Grow your own. Of course, mixed in the nursery, besides the greens, they also have some fruit trees. So I was surprised to see this. This is the Nispero, or the Chico Zapote. This is a brown sugar fruit. This is one of my favorite fruits. I'll probably be bringing this home with me today. So while most Puerto Ricans may be growing papaya, which is probably the #1 grown fruit because there's so many seeds when you buy one, and they can literally grow like a weed here depending on where you live, I want to encourage every Puerto Rican, or even if you're in some kind of tropical or subtropical climate that doesn't get too cold, I want to encourage you guys to grow the moringa. Moringa is quite underrated. It is actually related to the Brassica style family plants, anti-cancer, anti-aging, and can even help detoxify your liver. And it literally grows as a tree, could even be a weed. I've already purchased, let's see, 3 moringa trees since I've been here, and this will be my 4th. So I'm trying to plant them as much as possible. I want to have just endless amounts of moringa to eat. Once again, as another staple leafy green, I'll be consuming. The most under-eaten food on the entire planet, in my opinion, are the leafy greens. Everybody loves to grow fruit. Fruit tastes so good, is so delicious, but people forget to eat their greens. The greens are where there's the most amount of phytonutrients and phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals that will sustain your health, keep you healthier for longer. And the moringa is just one of these amazing trees. And back in Las Vegas, right now it's getting too cold, so I'm going to let it, it's going to not make it the top. I'm going to cut it back, mulch heavy the root zone, and the roots will come back alive. And I'm in a zone 9, but if you're in a zone 8, that may not be happening, so you may want to grow it in a container. Some companies do have supposedly dwarf moringa trees. That would be quite impressive. But honestly, the way moringa is normally grown is they let it grow pretty tall. Then you basically just cut it in half. It'll encourage the side shooting, so you guys can keep it small and keep cutting it down. It'll just force it to produce more and more leaves for you guys to eat. And if you're eating the leaves, always encourage you guys to harvest the baby, tender, small leaves at the top if you want to eat them fresh. And if you guys want to use them for cooking, then you could harvest the lower leaves on the bottom. If you're using them for juicing or for smoothies, use them fresh. You would harvest the lower leaves. I'll put a link down below to my video where I actually juice and make an amazing moringa pineapple juice in the juicer. That being said, you could also dry the moringa into powder, and people buy moringa powder all the time, all over the place. But instead of using powders, man, why not grow it fresh? It's even healthier for you. So another plant I've purchased on this trip to grow in Puerto Rico is the passion fruit. They call it the parcha. And this is the Parcha colombiana, so it's from Colombia, so it's a Colombian passion fruit. It grows as a vine, so my goal is to grow the passion fruit up the hurricane fencing that is between my property and my neighbor's property. Right now it's just full of weeds, right? So I can let weeds that don't produce anything for me grow up the fencing, and then I got to basically trim them down, keep them trimmed down. Or I could grow passion fruit, and once I get the passion fruit established, it's going to outcompete the other weeds so that the weeds don't encroach on my fence, so I don't have to keep cutting it down. Plus, the passion fruit not only makes delicious fruits, it also makes the beautiful flowers as well. So it's going to serve me multiple purposes, and I think it's just amazing how long and big these plants are in just one itty-bitty 4-inch pot. You guys can see the roots are already coming out of the pot there. This thing wants to grow in the ground. So I think this is this plant's lucky day, because I think it's going to be coming home with me today. Of course, they also sell the passion fruit seeds that you guys could grow the Puerto Rican passion fruit at home in the continental United States if it stays warm for you, or you could grow it as a container plant indoors. So one of the things I look for when I come to nurseries is I just don't want to see common varieties of, you know, different food crops. So like me seeing Italian basil at a plant nursery is like, it just really doesn't excite me, guys. But when I see unique and rare varieties that are hard to find or difficult to get, or that I personally like, then I'm like, whoop. It's really exciting for me. So I was really excited to see that actually they're just growing the Tulsi basil. The Tulsi basil I grew over the summer in Las Vegas. It was one of my best performing basils and lasted, you know, some of the longest time before it got hit by the cold frost and the weather, which I just lost. So like literally a month ago, or maybe earlier this month, I pulled it out, and now I could get new Tulsi basil for my property here that will, you know, likely live year round. I really love the more medicinal style of the Tulsi basil and flavor over the standard Italian basil that I think is just overrated. So directly across from the little seed store is actually their demonstration garden. They don't generally give you guys farm tours, and this is a closed farm, so you're not allowed to just walk around the farm, but you can go to the seed store, as well as the where I showed you guys the baby plants are, as well as this little demonstration garden that they show you guys what is possible. You know, a lot of people in Puerto Rico may live in, you know, smaller lots and not have, you know, agriculture land like I do. They just have a standard residential house, or even in an apartment in some of the bigger cities here. So they want to show you guys how even in a smaller house, right, you could have a little raised bed garden, either in the ground or even raised up on legs, so that you guys don't have to bend over to grow your food. In addition, they also have a whole bunch of different containers with different kinds of fruit trees producing fruit for you guys, to show that you guys don't need to plant some of these fruit trees in the ground, but even a large container, you know, you could have a productive fruit tree to start taking responsibility for some of the food you eat, right? Most of the food that is eaten here in Puerto Rico is imported. It's quite sad, and some of the common things I saw at the grocery store last night, I'm like, man, that could have been grown in Puerto Rico, that could have been grown in Puerto Rico, that could have been, like, a lot of the things could be grown in Puerto Rico, especially some of the tuberous, you know, starch crops that are just being imported from, you know, Costa Rica or other tropical places. So, you know, part of the reason why I'm here in Puerto Rico is to help promote and get people to grow more of their own food, and also contribute to the Puerto Rican society and culture and contribute some of the food I grew that I'll be hopefully selling in the farmer's market in the future in the local area, so that people could benefit from the food that I'm growing on my farm. That being said, we should not rely on farmers to grow our food. I want you guys to rely on yourselves to grow food, because after a hurricane, right, the farmers go out of production, you have to fend for yourselves. If you have your own garden, you can be more sustainable and grow more of your own food crops, especially if you store it, can it, dehydrate it, freeze dry it, so that you guys are prepared in case of the next major disaster. So let me show you guys, just a few areas of this demonstration garden real quick. All right, so you guys can see in this demonstration garden, they got some broccoli growing. Now, broccoli seems to be the #1 grown cruciferous vegetable here. Broccoli is not a traditional kind of like Puerto Rican food, but I think every Puerto Rican should grow some kind of brassica or broccoli style plant. And let's not forget, most people think when you grow a broccoli, you've got to wait for that broccoli flower that everybody loves. That being said, to me, the value in a broccoli plant is not the stupid flower, but it's the leaves. These leaves just look like collard greens. They pretty much taste like kale or collard greens. They're as nutritious as kale or collard greens as well. And I want you guys to harvest the lower leaves. As the lower leaves turn brown, they would basically go to compost anyways. You could harvest the lower leaves, you could chop them up to cook with them, you could juice them, you could blend them into smoothies, you could use them, slice them thin, make them into a salad. Of course, I like to harvest the young tender leaves, which I can't wait to get back to my garden in Las Vegas right now, because I'm gonna have so many tender, brassica leaves, including bok choy, broccoli, kohlrabi, all kinds of leaves for me to eat. Because I've been on a green deficit as I've been here, because I'm not yet growing my own greens in sufficient quantity. All right, so yeah, grow some broccoli. And of course, they got the seeds here, certified organic, at their seed store. All right, so you guys can see this is one of their raised up garden beds that actually will sell here. And I think they even have classes to help you guys get started. To put one of these in, these are basically the plastic lumber, so it won't rot. It has a bottom on it, and they even put it on legs so that you guys can stand up and work your garden. In this little garden bed, they got lettuce growing, different colors of lettuce. They got red and standard green lettuce, and then they got beets growing. The one behind, they got tomatoes. They got one with cilantro and carrots and different kinds of herbs and onions as well. So I think this is an excellent way to grow some vegetables, especially if you can't bend down. That being said, I would always prefer to have a raised bed garden before I had something raised up, if you could bend down, because now the soil is in contact with the earth, which is very important for, earthworms, nutrition, as well as the whole aspect of the plants being connected to the earth and being grounded. Another thing I like is that these boxes have built-in irrigation. They plumb up the irrigation to the side, and they have little sprinklers that could come on, so they could do and set up everything automatically for you, so you guys could grow very easily, so you don't have to remember to water every day. So along the backside here, they got these big pots that I think are normally used for like beer tubs. If you're going to go to a party, they're not even made for gardening, but they fill them up with soil. And you guys can see they got a nice little, I think this is a Hawaiian style papaya growing out of that pot there. This has got some nice papaya fruit on there. This tree is really not even that tall. It's maybe about 7 feet tall, and it's already fruiting. You guys can see behind me they got a citrus, and then even behind me, even in a bigger pot that's probably rooted through the pot more than likely, is a mulberry tree. So yeah, you could grow a lot of things in a container if you don't have the space. That being said, I think the next part of this episode, I want to take you guys to the farm to show you guys actually where they grow some of the plants to harvest the seeds from, and then I'll show you guys more of the seed process and how they extract the seeds, get the seeds out, save the seeds, store the seeds, and then finally sell the seeds to you. So as you guys can see, we're here on some of the 10 acres of the farm that is not available normally for the public to view, so I got special permission to be here and film today for you guys. This is the 10 acres where they're growing lots of different crops. That side of me has peppers. This side of me has some of the pumpkins. They have the Recaro, cilantro. They got the moringa. They got sunflowers they're growing. All kinds of different stuff. They got bananas down there, different kinds of taro. And I want to show you guys just a few of the crops they're growing. Maybe give you guys some samples so that you guys know what they look like when they're like full-grown plants, for example. So I think first we're going to go over some of these Aji Dulce sweet peppers to show you guys what they look like. All right, First up, we're at a Agave Dulce Gigante seasoning pepper. If you guys are gonna buy the seeds, that's what they look like. This is the plant. The plants maybe get up to, I don't know, maybe 3.5 feet tall, some of the largest ones. And you guys can see they got some nice big peppers on there. And so these are, I don't know, I've never tasted one of these before, so let's see, because I'm gonna probably be growing these myself. Really nice looking peppers, unique shape, and let's just go ahead and bite into it and see. Wow. Wow. That's a good flavor. So to me, this is not like super flavorful. Like it has some flavor like green pepper slash kind of like, yeah, I'd say it's a seasoning pepper, not like a sweet pepper. Let's go ahead and eat more of it. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling no heat. It's a nice pepper. I'd love to make pepper juice out of these guys and use it as a base of my soup. That's a good pepper, and of course, I'm saving all my seeds. All right, so I'm standing between another row. Over on this side, they're growing tomatoes, of course, for the seeds. Over on this side, they're growing the Jamaica. I would call this the Roselle, and the leaves are edible, so most people use these for the flowers to make tea. I personally like to use these for the leaves. It has a nice, like, lemony flavor. Quite delicious. Of course, they also have the cranberry hibiscus or the false roselle that has the red leaves, which I like even more due to the anthocyanin content. This is another staple. This plant in Vegas over the summertime did not perform well for me, whereas the cranberry hibiscus just took off and did so much better. So if you have the choice between this or the cranberry hibiscus or the false roselle, grow the cranberry. I think it's going to perform better for you based on my limited testing so far. That being said, here in Puerto Rico, they should basically both grow equally as well in the tropics. All right, up next, we have a really cool tree. You guys can see that tree and you can see me as a size comparison. What this tree is, this is the moringa tree. So this is one of my favorite trees. This is a seed pod. When they're immature, you guys could eat these seed pods. You could also eat the little flowers on here that are nice and pretty. They're a little bit spicy, add them into salads. Quite good. Also harvest the little tips for the tender greens to eat fresh. Mmm, delicious, wow. So it's a very good, like sweet, yet spicy flavor. I love it so much. And of course, once your tree is mature, you guys could harvest the drumsticks, and I could open this up and look at this. These are the seeds inside the moringa, as I'm dropping them, that can be used to purify water or even replant yourself to grow more moringa trees. Of course, moringa can also be propagated by cuttings. This is a tree that I want everybody in Puerto Rico to grow themselves. Super nutritious. Grow your own greens instead of getting them imported. And these are a lot easier to grow than brassicas here with probably even better benefits. So as you guys can see, this farm is just massive. It just goes on and on. They have so many different banks of different crops. So they got sunflowers here. They got some peanuts in the ground there, as well as some corn growing there. Different kinds of beans. Oh, and I want to show you guys the heat-loving cilantro, also known as culantro or recaro here in Puerto Rico. So now I want to show you guys more about the recaro or culantro, the long-leaf cilantro, heat-loving. You guys can see all the seeds that you'll get there. This is what the plant looks like, and every time I've grown this, I usually get it from, you know, not the seed, from the plant. I buy a little plant start, and then it immediately bolts. The goal is you want to have these large outer leaves that are really nice to eat. They're nice, big, flat, long leaves. We're gonna go ahead and try this on camera for you guys. Now you gotta watch out for the little teeth on the side. That could get you, so if you chop it up, it's not a big problem. But this tastes like 99.9% just like cilantro. The tip I got from the farmer is the plant will dry up, kind of like this. And then you could harvest the seeds. But if you see new growth coming out, you don't want to immediately cut it. You want to let it go to flower and complete its cycle. And then once the seeds turn brown, then cut it, and the plant will continue to make green leaves for you guys to eat. So I'm going to have to try this myself. Because here, you know, their goal and focus is to grow for seed, not for the greens. My goal, on the other hand, is grow for the greens, but of course if it goes to seed, I'm going to just let the seeds disperse themselves, and hopefully one day this culantro will be a weed on my garden here in Puerto Rico, so I could have it any time of the year in abundance. So while I did show you guys earlier all the little seeds that they sell here, they also sell other kinds of seeds that are not traditional seeds, but they'll basically sell you the seeds for the sweet potatoes here. They got white kind and like an orange kind at present time. How you'll know when they have those available is that you want to get on their email list, because on their email list they'll announce, hey, we got these, you know, plants or seeds available. And in some cases they're going to be sold out pretty quick. So, you know, they only make them available when they harvest them and when they're ready to go. So I encourage you guys, especially if you guys live in Puerto Rico or other tropical areas where you want to grow some of these crops that have naturalized to the tropical heat here, get on their email list. I'll put a link down below. All right, now I want to show you guys actually the Gandolfinano pigeon pea small shrub or dwarf. This is the full size. It gets up to be about 5 feet tall. You guys can see it's got some dried pigeon peas on there, affected by some bugs because it's organic. It's got the flowers and some of the fresh pigeon peas as well. I really love the shape of this plant. Just nice, small, and compact. Other like, you know, larger pigeon peas that can get a little bit unruly. Of course, this is a nitrogen fixing plant, which is great if you want to have a vegetable garden or fruit tree orchard, or you just want to provide, you know, shade for some of your vegetables or fruit trees as they are young. Of course, you could always chop it and drop it, let it compost down to build your soil as well. This is a very valuable plant for the tropics that I'll be growing a lot of on my property. Another valuable crop I want you guys to grow here in the tropics, and this is long season. I tried to grow it in Vegas over just as an annual. Didn't work, so I don't recommend that. But this is known as the yucca or cassava. It's kind of like hidden inside here. It's a tree all the way back here. The problem is that they also got the loofah that they're growing for seed, growing up it because it's from the next door, you know, planting. And so it really looks cool. It's cassava with hanging loofahs in the tree. So they got 2 for 1. The cassava or yucca is propagated by the wood cuttings, by the stick cuttings. So once they harvest the tubers out of the ground, they can just basically cut pieces of the stick, shove it in the ground. It grows into a brand new tree. Definitely a longer season. How you'll know when the yucca is ready to harvest is that it'll actually go to flower, and then you're ready to cut down the tree, harvest the tubers, and eat them. And it definitely takes over a year to do it. All right, next up I want to take you guys into the papaya patch, and let's see if we can find a ripe papaya. These are the Hawaiian papayas that they sell the seeds for in the seed shop. All right, so I'm walking through the Hawaiian papaya orchard here in Puerto Rico. You guys can see they got lots of papayas on the tree. I think the guys walk through here every day to make sure they get all the ripe ones to save the seeds for. And you guys can see I found one on the ground. So let's open it up and check it out. All right, guys, so this is probably not a good example because this one's kind of like underdeveloped, a little bit green still, but this is the Hawaiian papaya you guys can get at their seed shop. We're just gonna go ahead and cut open, see what it looks like. A half of it's kind of like yellow and ripe, and the other half's kind of green, so it's not fully ripened. So I wanna see what it looks like on the inside. Oh wow, look at that. That's a nice Hawaiian yellow papaya. I haven't had this in ages. Still lots of seeds in there. Wow, smells really good. Let's see if the flavors of this fruit bring me back to Hawaii, even though I'm in the Caribbean. All right, let's go ahead and scoop this papaya out. Let's try it. Wow. Definitely could be more ripe, but I definitely taste the potential of this Hawaiian papaya. It's more like a traditional Hawaiian papaya than like the marduls that I've been normally getting here on island. Definitely say it's good. Once again, these are certified organic seeds, non-GMO, which is very special for papaya because it can be very difficult to find certified non-GMO seeds in this day and age. So the heart of any organic farm is organic compost, and I'm glad to say that this farm makes their own compost on site to use to amend all their garden beds, so you guys can assure they're going to have high quality seeds. But in addition, they also will make available for you guys the compost that they produce here on site based from local manure sources that is tested, and they'll sell you basically bags of compost for just $5. So now we're back towards some of the buildings, and this is one of the buildings where they process the seeds that come in from the farm that you guys saw, and they have another crop growing right here above me. I don't know if you guys can see carefully, but here's one right here. Oops, it just fell. Anyways, what these are the parcha or passion fruit. This is the Puerto Rican kind passion fruit they have growing up this whole trellis, and the best place to find passion fruit is don't pick them off the plant, but look at the ground. So let's see if I can find a ripe passion fruit on the ground to eat. All right, you guys can see some passion fruits right here, and let's see, we're gonna get the most yellow Puerto Rican passion fruit. We're gonna cut open my plastic knife here. All right, whoa, I can smell the flavor of the tropics right here. Look at that. This is what you guys could be growing with the seeds that you guys could buy from their seed store. Wow, this smells so tropical, guys. I wish you guys were here to smell it. Now we're gonna eat it. Wow. Puerto Rico grows some good passion fruit. It's like that nice sour, sweet flavor. Excellent to blend into smoothies or put in a juice. That being said, you need more of a tropical environment to grow the passion fruits. Definitely, at least if you're not in a zone 9, I don't even know how you'd keep this in a container because the vine's gonna go crazy. And I don't know if your season's even gonna be long enough, but definitely these are some good passion fruits. All right, so now I wanna show you guys actually how they process a lot of the different fruits to turn them into seeds so that they could send you the seeds for only $2 a packet. Once again, amazing prices here. All the packets are $2. Some packs have more seeds than others, so be aware of that. Seed counts are always listed on the website, or seed quantity. You guys can see they got some pumpkins here. They got lots of pumpkins just harvested from the field. They're gonna be opening these pumpkins and then sorting out the seeds and then saving the seeds. So I wanna show you guys their process. So this is the machine I need if you guys wanna save seeds from fruits. You literally put in this hopper the fruit with the seeds. You spray in water here, it basically funnels down this, and then it basically lightly agitates them and grinds off the flesh. The seeds and some of the fruit flesh drop to the bottom through the screen, which then they catch in this bucket, which is placed right down below. And then out of this bucket, the water will come out through here. The seeds will stay in with a little bit of water at the bottom that then they will strain out. And of course, this is what they think of New Jersey license plates in Puerto Rico. They just use them for extra metal. So once the seeds and the liquid come out of the machine, it then goes into a container such as this. And you guys can see there's lots of fruit flies over here. They're literally trying to get all the fruit flesh, all the pulp, and any kind of, seed coating that would prevent the seed from germinating off, so that you guys don't have to go through that hard work. So they're just basically, they put these in several days ago. They're just kind of sitting. This is the parcha. This is the Puerto Rican passion fruit. This is a Cuban papaya. This is the Aje picante, Aje Ridincolo, and there's some carabola, or the starfruit seeds that then they're basically processing, to get all the pulp off and let it sit. They're going to then wash it and then put it on screens to dry, which is right next door. So let's show you guys that now. All right, so these seeds are shade dried, specifically these particular seeds. So they put them in basically these trays, and they basically have them labeled. So this is the Aji Picante. They got the date on here, and you guys can see all the nice clean seeds that they'll then pack up and ship to you as needed. Let's see, they always keep one on the top to keep the bugs out. And then down below, this one doesn't have a lot of seeds on there. What is this one? This is the carambola, so the star fruit seeds. And this one they have a lot. This is the Cuban papaya. Right here, the Cuban papaya seeds. Look at all these seeds in here, guys. All these amazing Cuban papaya seeds ready to get shipped out to you guys. Fresh seeds. And they got more papaya and pepper seeds. And at this point, you want to protect these seeds from the birds, especially because birds love to eat seeds. So they got it so the birds can't get them. Also in this area, things fresh come out of the fields, waiting for the expert seed processor, who I did not get to meet, to process the seeds. So they literally dumped off for her today a whole big batch of those Puerto Rican passion fruits. They also dumped off a whole bunch of beans for her to process. And they also dumped off all the cut culantro flowers to process for those little small tiny seeds. Now depending on the specific seed, it'll be processed in a different way. They also have basically a drying house, so maybe some of the culantro seeds may need drying in the sun versus the shade, and they know what to do for which seed. So I'm going to show you guys how they dry that in the sun drying for seeds that require it. All right, so this is the drying house where they do the drying of the crops, and actually it's quite warm in here, so I don't want to be here too long. And I feel sorry for Marie, who works in here. She's currently sifting the culantro seeds out. You guys can see they got different areas, so they're drying some moringa and some different kind of seeds up here on the table. They also got a drying mat on the ground where they're drying some pigeon peas, and she had just swept up the culantro seeds that she just basically is sorting out all the pieces of the plant from the seed material. And I mean, I do something similar to this at my house. I wish I had kind of like better screens like they do, and they have some equipment here as well. So now she's just basically got all the seeds and all the seed dust, and then she needs to do a finer sift to get all the dust off, and then she'll be saving all the seeds. And so once the seeds are all cleaned, then they go into the storage house so that they ensure they ship you guys seeds that are viable and have the highest germination rate. They test lots of seeds before they're shipped out to make sure they have at least minimum 75% germination, and every package is labeled with the germination and expiration date. So let me show you guys actually where they store the seeds in the cool temperatures, probably the coldest place on the entire farm. All right, so now I'm going to take you from the hottest, where they dry the seeds, to the coldest room of the farm that they keep climate controlled to keep all the seeds fresh. One of the worst things you guys can do is store your seeds improperly. You know, seeds really like a non-humid environment. So like an arid climate is some of the best place to store seeds at a nice cool temperature. If you have high humidity, the seeds can literally absorb the humidity, and that will cause the seeds to deteriorate more quickly. So to store your seeds, should you buy them and not use them immediately, I would say at least minimally, put them in a sealed container in your fridge, and that's probably a really good place to keep them. You could pull a vacuum on the container like in a mason jar. That might be even better. So let's go ahead and open the door and see how they store their seeds here, and also let me cool down because I'm so hot from being in the seed drying area. And you guys can see this is a really thick insulated door. I'm getting blasted with the cold air. This is colder than the Costco fridges where you get your vegetables. All right, inside this room, it's not super exciting, guys. What you're seeing is you're basically seeing shelves and shelves of basically different seeds. They got everything labeled with the lot number as well as the date. Not only are they in the paper bags, but they're sealed paper bags in the Ziploc bag to make sure no moisture gets in there. They are serious about keeping moisture out. And even better than the bags like this, when they have small quantities, when they have large quantities, they'll simply use big 5-gallon buckets with nice tight lids and with the label on the top so they know what's in there. And basically there's just all these 5-gallon buckets with these wheeled casters so they can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets high filled with just all kinds of seeds. Some seeds they have more than others, but this place is overloaded with seeds, so they definitely need to sell some seeds. So let's learn more about how you guys could buy these high quality seeds 80% of which are grown right here on the farm that I got to show you guys today. So what do you guys think of the farm today, Desde Mi Huerto, that grows the seeds here for Puerto Rico, but also ships them all around the country to you? You guys got to see how they grow some of the very crops, harvest the seeds in the different areas they harvest and save the seeds. I got to taste test a few of the crops to show you guys my personal opinions on the flavors. I showed you guys the plant starts that you guys could buy, whether you're here locally or they will ship back to the States for you guys. I really love this farm. They're just like down home, really down to earth people, trying to get people and help people of Puerto Rico and more importantly around the country to grow their own food. That is also my mission. So we are like adjoining on the same team to get people, you guys watching today, to grow your own food. And if you're not growing your own food already, I want you guys to start, right? You guys can start right now, even in the winter time, by starting out buying some seeds first off, starting the seeds inside under some grow lights so that the time after the last frost, you can plant them outside and experience growing your own foods. Of course, some of the leafy greens are some of the easiest things to grow, but of course, you could grow some of their specialized peppers, you know, as annuals. Of course, if you live in the tropics, the seeds that they're growing here are no-brainers for you guys because they're going to do the best. They've acclimated to the specific climate here in the Caribbean and other tropical areas. Of course, the other thing I liked about this farm, being that I'm like a frugal guy myself, is that all the seed packs are only $2, guys. I mean, with all the inflation, I'm amazed they haven't even changed their prices. You can still get these seed packs for $2. Order them on the website, Desde Mi Huerta, or at CaribbeanEcoSeeds.com. Once again, links down below. If you guys are on the island, most Walmarts and better supermarkets may even sell these seeds so that you don't have to come to the farm here in Isabel. That being said, if you guys are coming to the farm here, I recommend you guys come when they have a class day or an open house day because you could learn a lot more and, you know, see the farm, which is, you know, not super much to visit. You could just buy some seeds here, visit a little nursery, and you can kind of see from afar what it all looks like. But yeah, support them so that the owner, who's been doing this for 20 years now, can continue his mission to help Puerto Ricans and people around the country to grow more food at home and become independent and more resilient in these changing times. So if you guys enjoyed this video, want more videos for me to come back and even interview the owner, the farmer, next time, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, if you guys have friends or family in Puerto Rico or other tropical locations such as Hawaii or Florida, maybe even Southern California, some of the southern states, share this video with them so that they can know a really amazing source of seeds that are certified organic that will perform well for them when other seeds from more temperate climates will not. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new upcoming episodes that are coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. And make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 1,700 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys how to grow your own food at home. So with that, my name is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep on growing.